that you'd rather forget. Crusade to the days of rage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 40 of the Adventures in Novus podcast. 40 episodes. What a journey it's been so far. And to celebrate, we have something special lined up for you. For this episode, we return to the group first introduced in episode 30, Bat Country. That's right, Arken, Gilgamesh, Salazar, and of course, Randy, or Haynes, depending on whether his mask is on or not. If you missed that episode or need a refresher, we highly recommend revisiting the first half of episode 30 before diving into this one. Going forward, this adventuring party will have their own side adventures interwoven throughout the main story. It's a way to expand the story we're going through, and it's always fun for the players to play new characters now and then. We will revisit them once a chapter, so this will be their mini chapter for chapter 2, and we'll see them again in chapter 3 and later on. So, without further ado, let's jump into this fantastic episode right after a recap from me, your humble Dragon Master. Dungeon Master? Your humble Dungeon Master. Game Master? Who knows?
Dungeonkin.
Yeah. Dungeonkin Master. We haven't had a true adventure with this party yet. Just that small bit in episode 30 Backcountry where they met Nitrol on the southern seas. Similar to our original group in episode 3, the Bishop of Bechlin, Nitrol tasked them to get stronger as a group because the world needs heroes to face what is to come. Nitrol's outro to that scene was, "As long as no one releases him from his prison, we will be fine. Entering the Eye of Abendego would be suicide. No one will do that. No, we still have time. Maybe I should have said something to those last adventurers. They seemed quite unpredictable, yes. Lawrence Madronis, I could really use you right now." So something is going on with the Eye of Abendego that Nitrol is worried about. The Eye of Abendego was first mentioned in episode 19, a Tales episode, episode 2 of Tales, rated R. Yar, yar. That was a side adventure we did in the southern seas as pirates aboard the famous ship called the Drafalken, captained by Captain Smiley. In that episode, we learned that sailors take no chances with the Eye of Abendego and give it a wide berth. We also learned it is a storm that has raged unchanged for 214 years. One last thing you know before we start this episode. It starts on the morning of the 27th of Gozran, also known as Redemption Day. I also have a little quote to add some more
Pizzazz. Some razzle dazzle.
Yeah, some brazzle pizzazzle, if you will. This is what Captain Smiley Joseph Hamlet of the Drafalken says about the Eye of Abendego. "The sky is fury. Wind howls like 1,000 screaming banshees, and black clouds churn endlessly in the heavens above. The sea, no longer ocean, but the living, thrashing beast, rises and falls in walls of water tall enough to swallow mountains. This is no mere storm. This is the Eye of Abendego, a maelstrom locked in eternal rage." This leads us to our 4 adventurers. They are in a ship built for protection, and our heroes await the inevitable crash into the Eye of Abendego as they are launched in this direction. They are slingshotted towards the storm by ships that have already peeled away, their escape paths secured. These 4 adventurers are alone now, well, 5 including Crom. Minutes from impact, seconds from the unknown. Whispers of secrets on the island compels them to take this chance. Secrets are powerful things, dangerous things. The kind of power that draws certain souls like moths to a flame. Possible ancient treasure on an island impossible to get to? Sign me up. The vessel they are in is thick-ribbed and iron-banded, built more like a fortress than ship. Its hull is wrapped in layers of treated oak and reinforced steel plates, designed to endure cannon fire and crashing waves alike. A domed canopy of bronze-covered wooden shields cover the deck, and its portholes are sealed shut for protection from wind and water. Runes are carved into the prow, and they glow faintly, wards against chaos and storm. Salazar, Randy, Gilgamesh, Arken, and let's not forget, Arken's pet star drakeling, Crom. Named Crom after a fallen friend from a past campaign. They are all going through their final thoughts before the collision. Does anyone have any final thoughts? Maybe a backstory to introduce before you crash into the storm?
Randy's thinking about how much he hates Lance. Frickin' Lance. Ruined my life.
You're about to go into this like crazy maelstrom, and you're just like thinking about your stepdad.
Freaking Lance.
Blood, 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 blood.
Love it.
A whole host of emotions and images go through Arken's head, but she thinks back to what started her on this journey, what really sort of led her to this moment. So we open on a very lavish bedchamber in a large castle in an unknown time and location. We slowly pan over the room. We see a large ornate vanity, a tiara on a headdress, gold and silver frame on a large standing mirror, multiple dressers and chests along the walls, a large gold bathing tub. It's at this point that we hear a faint and soft crying from somewhere in the room. The only light is coming from the moon through the open windows and a low glowing fire in the hearth that has almost burned down. We pull up to see a large 4-post bed, to see the source of the crying. A girl of no more than 7 or 8. Blonde hair. We can't see her face as she is face down on the pillow crying. She has obviously been crying for some time. Over at her door of the bedchamber, the door is slightly ajar, and through the opening we see the king and a priest, Raskin, standing beside him, each looking over towards the girl.
My lord, it is only natural for her to grieve for her mother.
I know, Raskin, but it has been 6 months.
She will find her way, sire. This I believe.
Well, I hope you're right, my old friend.
Gary Busey. Oh, man.
Buttered sausage. Let's talk about buttered sausage.
They leave. The girl still cries softly as she eventually drifts off to sleep. A short time later, in the middle of the same night, the girl bolts upright in bed. She sees a warm light glowing from her balcony. The light is mystical, pleasant, and inviting. She steps out of bed and makes her way toward it. She steps timidly out into the light and onto the crenellated balcony. She peers up into the sky where the light is coming from. There's a small flash, and before the girl floats a very handsome man. He looks down on her and slowly lands. The girl is not afraid. There is a familiarity to this man. The man puts his finger to his lips.
My name is Belial, and I am a friend of your mother's. I can feel the sadness emanating from you. Your mother is no longer of this world.
The little girl shakes her head.
That saddens me deeply. Your mother and I were good friends. Did she ever tell you the bedtime stories of angels?
Yes, she said she was an angel friend who would visit every 10 years, a beautiful man who would keep her company and talk all night with her.
Yes, that's me. What's your name, child?
Lucretia?
What a beautiful name. I was a friend of your mother's. Would you like me to be your friend too?
Yes, I think so.
We see her start to smile for the first time. We cut to a few moments before dawn.
Thank you, Lucretia, for sharing this time with me. It makes me happy to hear stories of you and your mother sharing so many happy times. I want to see you again in 10 years when I return. Is that okay?
She nods.
Excellent. Here is a token to remember our meeting and our growing friendship.
He gives her a pendant, an intricately woven set of gold threads around a dazzling green gemstone.
This is to remember me. It's called Sarah's Stone, after your mother. I hope to see you again in 10 years, Lucretia.
The warm, glowing light extends from above to encase the balcony once more. There is a flash of light, and Lucretia is left standing alone as the first rays of sunlight crack the horizon. We fade out to 10 years later. The same balcony, a teenage Lucretia stands alone, twirling the pendant absent-mindedly in her fingers. A flash of light, and Belial appears just as he did a decade prior. He hasn't aged since we saw him. He goes to say something, but Lucretia puts a finger to his lips. Shh, no words. She kisses him passionately. His hands slowly coming up to caress her back and head, then she violently throws him down to the balcony. The whole night is spent making love. No words are spoken, just sighs, moans, and excited cries of pleasure and ecstasy. A flash of light, and we see Lucretia alone again on the balcony. As the sun rises in the background, one hand goes back to the pendant. The other moves unconsciously to her belly as she looks out to the horizon. We then see a montage showing Lucretia in labor, her showing the baby to her father and his happiness. The baby has glowing golden hair. We see the young girl growing up, learning to fight in a courtyard. learning royal manners at a dinner table, attending church. Then we see the same 3 sets of images, but the girl looks a little sterner, more determined, with a mischievous look in her eye. She is training in the courtyard but disarms her opponent and smacks them upside the helmet forcefully. At the dinner table, using her innate magic abilities to extinguish and relight candles on the table, and scribbling in the holy text at church while the priest's back is turned. We cut to a large set of doors as they swung open. The priest Raskin storms into the royal throne room, pulling an 8-year-old Arken by her ear. She looks very similar to her mother at her age.
Your Majesty,
Pushing Arken toward her grandfather.
your granddaughter is at it again. I can't even begin to speak aloud the blasphemous words she has etched into our holy texts. She is a menace and must be made an example of, lest she forsake us all to an eternal damnation.
Lucretia slips in from a side door and listens out of sight.
Oh, my friend, it cannot be as worrisome as your words suggest.
Raskin provides the king with a book. The king takes a look through some of the pages. His wincing and grimacing faces show us all we need to know. He looks at Arken, who is now sheepishly staring at the floor. He just shakes his head and sighs.
Arken, my dear, Raskin is not the only one to bring me tidings of your behavior. I've always given you the benefit of the doubt as you are my kin, and your birth was such a blessing to us in the kingdom. How can you continue to behave in such a manner as this? You have the perfect life. You want for nothing, with only the best of everything available to you since you were born.
Sorry, grandfather.
Sorry will not cut it this time, young lady. You've gone too far.
Arken growls, burying her larger than normal incisors at him.
Far, that's F is for fear, A is for and R is for repercussions.
The king says, raising a hand.
Enough! I've given this matter much thought, and though it is against my truest wishes, the time has come for young Arken to make a journey.
Upon hearing this, Lucretia steps fully into the room.
Father, no. How could you even consider such a drastic course of action? Arken is my child, and the future heir to the throne.
My daughter, I understand your protest, but please understand this is by no means an exile or banishment, as I believe Arken will one day return to be a just and true ruler, who will lead our kingdom to a time of peace and a never-before-seen level of prosperity. Raskin, please begin the preparations.
Raskin leaves.
Now, my daughter, I ask of you one thing, to prepare Arken for the journey ahead. Befit her with the knowledge and resolve to keep herself safe in a new land. Where she is going, her celestial gifts may draw some eyes of the foreigners. Teach her when and how to hide, but also when to speak up and be brave. Her lineage is that of great importance. An envoy from the Dragon Clan will escort you back to Fairhaven.
Lucretia looks down to her daughter, and Arken back to her mother. Sometime later now, we're back on the balcony of Lucretia's room. A flash of light brings Belial into view. Lucretia is there waiting.
Why so sad, Lucy? Aren't you happy to see me?
I had a daughter after the night we were together last.
That is joyous news. Let us meet her.
You can't. My father sent her away a few months ago to a faraway land in hopes she will grow strong and return to rule these lands one day.
He did what?
A flicker of anger in his words. Back in the throne room, we see the king sitting upon his throne. A flash of light, and Belial is standing before the throne. The two are alone.
Who the devil are you?
How could you? Where is she?
I have no notion of what you speak of, stranger.
Belial reaches up to his glowing halo. He grips it in one hand and in one fluid motion throws it like a chakram toward the throne. Lucretia runs into the room and straight to her father's side. She falls weeping at his feet. His lifeless body limply falls out of the chair. We pull back to show Belial, still in rage, pacing. He screams and he slowly changes, sprouting a pair of dark horns and a sharp pointed tail growing from his backside. He takes a step towards the throne and tosses the lifeless king's body to the side of the chamber. He takes a seat in the vacated chair. We see his eyes alight with a dark flame. Lucretia's sobs echo about the chamber. Fade to black. A large royal ship is seen making its way to a dockside. The dock workers stare at the ship. There is no one moving on the deck. The vessel appears empty. As it pulls closer, they see a lone figure standing in the middle of the ship. We slowly zoom in to realize it is Arken, alone on the ship deck. We continue to zoom in on her green pendant. Inside, a dark fire burns. flame goes out and we see a green pendant again. No flame. We pull back to see a mature Arken aboard the ship, surrounded by her current group, Randy, Salazar, Gilgamesh, and of course, Crom.
Now that's a backstory right there.
That was a really good job on the voices, guys, by the way.
Sweet.
All you guys did really
can't
good.
believe we got Gary Busey.
That was a hard get. That was a tough get. Yeah.
You never know when Gary's going to pop out of the bushes.
You don't invite him, he invites himself.
What's that in his pocket? Is that a buttered sausage, or is he just happy to see you?
It could be both.
Two things are mutually exclusive.
Gary will work for sandwiches. Fully loaded sandwiches.
Yeah.
Don't cheap out on Gary. Don't cheap out on the Buse.
I can't take any more Gary Busey. You're at your Gary Busey limit.
Nobody puts Busey in a corner.
Thank you, Nick. That was an incredible backstory for Arken. And obviously that Dragon Clan member was Akimbo, who failed to bring her back. And since then, Arken's been on some crazy adventures, and this is one of them. That leaves us with Gilgamesh. What is going through Gilgamesh's head? Everyone wants to know.
Disengaged and disinterested, Gilgamesh is of a different mindset as he stands opposite everyone else, staring into the abyss in front of him. Thinking of an interaction on the deck of the Falcon. It may have been the music, or it very well could have been the voice in his head. Whichever it was, Gilgamesh was not ready for the tap on his shoulder from a sailor wanting to inform him that they are arriving close to shore.
Excuse me, sir?
Gilgamesh snaps his giant black-scaled dragonkin frame around in an instant with a snarl. The dragonkin are a rare sight to the common folk, and to have one dark-scaled with plate armor towering over you in height, it was all the sailor could do to just keep himself from soiling his pants. Just when Gilgamesh's favorite part of the song was coming up, too. He sees the look of the sailor go from pleasant to sheer horror in an instant. Remembering his mission and the manners required to pull off such a thing, he tries to repair the situation with a smile. It was an odd smile, confused and forced-looking. This scares the sailor even more as he forces a smile of his own and slowly backs away. Good, Gilgamesh thinks to himself as he returns to his original position. Confident he dodged a bullet in appearing strange, he starts bobbing his head as the music slowly starts coming back, and he starts thinking of a time long ago, to when he was much younger and without his mission. Camera flies over the Dragon Spine Mountains, given its name because the highest peaks in this mountain range line up similar to the spines on the back of a dragon. Nearing the end of the spines, you see a giant volcano, Everburn. 20,000 feet high, it is the largest peak in the world. North of Everburn, in between the volcano and the mountain range, is a small but prosperous village called Simul Unon, ancient Draconian, meaning to bring together. This one village does not have to worry about attacks from dragons, as their blood runs through the inhabitants in the form of the Dragonkin. They are respected, neutral advisors to the world, seeking balance. It is there from a young age that Gilgamesh decided that the teachings of loyalty and honor that all Dragonkin undergo made little sense to him. He was a humanoid descendant of the great terror, Agamemnon Needhog, World Eater. We should be honoring, yes, the great terror himself, not politicking and making friendships and alliances with the peoples of the world. They are but lambs to be led to their slaughter. Young Gilgamesh did not do well in the social exercises of his youth, preferring lies and subterfuge to honor and loyalty. His fellow students and instructors would shame him and his family for failing to understand the simplest of strictures on honor and decency. He held on to each and every insult and indignity, and when it came time to learn martial arts and how to wield a blade, he unleashed his anger 1,000 times over on his fellows. Instead of learning the art of the sword and shield, he preferred the imprecise but deadly scythe. No place was sacred to young Gilgamesh. When at school, he was constantly at odds with everyone and everything. While at home, his eldest brother Menelaus was ever a thorn in his side. A paragon of goodness, Menelaus was everything that Gilgamesh was not. Their parents constantly used Menelaus as the example of what Gilgamesh should be. It was about this time that the whispers started.
Menelaus will expose you if he finds out you skipped out on your classes. Show dominance. Strike that youth now, or he will ridicule you later. Your teachers care nothing for you. They will preach the same old tired monologues on honor and dignity, then berate you for asking honest questions.
At first, it was only every few days, then once a day, but soon it became near constant. The whispers wouldn't reveal their true identity for some time yet, but in the meantime, Gilgamesh was struggling to differentiate between the thoughts and the whispers. Were they one and the same? He was constantly distracted. To others, he seemed to be losing his sanity. He would suddenly begin arguing out loud with himself. People would ask him questions, but he seemed distant, as if he didn't hear them at all. The only time he seemed to have any reprieve from the whispers was in the training yards with the ultra-heavy beats of the drums and the clash of arms. Unable to quiet the whispers, Gilgamesh was at a loss for what to do. He couldn't tell his parents or the priests. They would have exiled him or worse. Dragonkin considered weaknesses of the mind to be anathema to their society, and therefore do not abide it. Early one morning, after a long and sleepless night, despite the protestations of the whispers, young Gilgamesh went to his brother Menelaus for help. They went to the woods near their home, and Gilgamesh recounted what had been happening to him. When he was through, they sat in silence for quite some time as Menelaus processed what had been told. Finally, Menelaus began shaking his head and said,
We're left with no choice, Gil. We must tell father. You'll be sent away. Don't you see how you disgrace the family? This shall be your final act of dishonor.
No longer whispering, the voice was screaming in his skull now.
You see, this is how your own brother treats you. Kill him!
Gilgamesh charged towards his brother, tackling him to the ground. They began to struggle until Gilgamesh reached out and his hand grasped a rock. He bashed his brother in the side of the head, knocking him senseless, and continued beating him for many long moments. His swings were met with horrifying, wet, sucking sounds. Slowly, he began to realize what he'd done. The whispers were calming him, assuring him that he'd only done what was necessary.
Menelaus has brought this upon himself. I know what must be done. You must give yourself over to me. I can help you. Calm yourself and listen to me.
And Gilgamesh did. With purpose, he made his way back home. Killing his father while he slept proved easy enough, but his mother awoke to the sound and fought bravely, though she died just the same. He collected his armor and weapons and made sure to pack well for the long road ahead. He'd be traveling north and east along the forgotten paths, the whispers his only guide. As far as he knew, no dragonkin had walked these paths for centuries or more. The whispers revealed themselves to be the god Mal, of which Gilgamesh knew nothing, though in time they promised to teach him everything he needed to know. A few days' hard travel through the mountains, and he'd arrived at his destination. Looking down below, he could see Mal's temple. It looked like an enormous bird's nest of briars and thorns, with a small opening in the roof with a chunk of obsidian serving as an altar. He was descending the hill as he vaguely became aware that he was being surrounded by heavily armed shadows. His training, the whispers assured him, would begin in the morning.
Be welcome. You are finally home.
Wow, another fantastic backstory. Well done, Arken and Gilgamesh. The fifth member in this boat is Crom, and I do want to explain a little bit about Crom. Crom is a star drake, but a young star drake. So Crom is only 50 years old, which makes him small. Crom is the same size as a big dog, like a Saint Bernard. And that puts him at 50 to 200 years. No one really knows how old he is, but that's how big he is. Star drakes are the rarest of drakes. Its scales have twinkling motes of light, and they move around this draconic creature's body like a tiny galaxy. The stars twinkle across the creature's metallic scales. Crom is bonded to Arken, and it can't talk to Arken, but it understands what Arken's saying. Through an empathic link, it can give Arken feelings, like if it's scared or hungry or stuff like that.
I get projections or like images or, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Crom looks at Arken and has a look of fear, and Arken feels the fear as they're about to dive into the Eye of Abendego.
Can I make a handle animal check to try to calm Crom down?
Yes, you can.
Oh my God, 35.
You handled him well.
It's a tails, so
Pretty good.
the hand job, right? Calms him right down.
I mean, it's a tails. We need to have a hand.
Yeah, okay. The obligatory no.
No. No Crom hand drops. I'm drawing the line.
Firm rule.
Yeah.
That's where the line is drawn.
Yeah. You feel Crom's fear dissipate with that excellent handle animal roll. And then the inevitable arrives as your boat meets the first wall of the Eye of Abendego. The rolling growl of thunder gets louder, and then a sudden flash. Lightning strikes flash through the small gaps of the closed portholes.
Oh, perfect.
Of the closed portholes as wind and water thrash the boat back and forth. Its hull groaning under the pressure, but it's holding so far, making you feel like you're gonna make it. But nothing is strong enough for this storm. As the ship rams into the heart of the wall of storm, waves smash across the deck like fists. The canopy splinters, the wards flicker and spark. Rain falls in sheets, and the wind howls like a living thing. One of the porthole covers tears free on the port side with a sickening crack, spinning into the void. Through that opening, you see lightning tearing the sky open, illuminating the sea like a battlefield as a wave crashes into the side of the boat and black, frothy seawater starts to fill the hull and your boots. A bolt of lightning strikes the starboard side, exploding in a spray of fire and splinters. The ship tilts violently to one side, creaking like a wounded beast, but somehow keeps pushing forward. The hulls buckle in places, rivets snap, planks peel away, and yet somehow, impossibly, what's left of the vessel punches through the final wall of the eye before the vessel finally splits open. Being flung out of the vessel into the sea, you notice that the storm doesn't progressively die down. It just stops as you pass through. As the ship breaks apart and you're flung into the air, I'm going to need some skill checks from you guys to see what happens. I'll give you two choices. You can either roll a reflex save to quickly grab onto something, like a chunk of the hull or anything that breaks apart from the ship, or a strength check to see if you just hang on before being flung out.
Are they the same DC?
I don't know what the DCs are. I just kind of make them up as I go along.
The ambience for that scene is going to be insane. It's probably going to take me like 10 hours.
Worth it.
Good, though.
Started already. Salazar has a reflex save of 13.
Arken has a 20 reflex save.
Gilgamesh, 11 strength.
Randy gets a 23 reflex save.
So Arken, with your reflex save, you grab onto a plank and start floating with the momentum towards the beach. Salazar, you miss the plank that you were trying to grab onto, and you will be floating in the ocean, and I will need a swim check later, as well as Gilgamesh, who failed his strength check. Randy also found some debris and caught onto it, and will also be floating towards the beach. So Gilgamesh and Salazar, I'll need some swim checks.
20. I couldn't tell what that was. Like, what the hell is that, a 1 or a 20? Although there is no water in the Darklands.
4.
4?
Yeah.
20 for Salazar.
So Salazar will be floating.
Salazar is a fatty natty there.
So Arken and Randy, you can have one more reflex save to see if you can help Gilgamesh out as you see him struggling to stay above water.
Reflex would be 13 for Arken.
13 is a fail. It is all up to Randy.
Once again, Randy shall be the hero. He's quite used to this. That is a 19 for
19 is a pass. So Arken floats by on her plank, just misses Gilgamesh, and Randy comes in behind and grabs him just before he starts sinking.
I'd like to point out that Randy is surfing on his piece of driftwood because he's a super cool, dexterous ninja with extremely strong reflexes.
Yeah.
And he's, kind of looking over at Arken, just demonstrating my toughness and coolness.
There's only room for one on my piece of wood here.
And the tide will start bringing you guys to the beach.
In fact, Randy says, fine day for a surfing, isn't it, milady?
So, Arken floats on a plank she quickly grabbed onto. Salazar floats peacefully on top of the water with his successful swim check. Randy, with his quick reflexes, secured a different plank, surfed it, and grabbed a sinking Gilgamesh along the way. And Crom just flies gracefully above Arken. You're now all on a black sand beach, glistening like obsidian in the sun. The grains shimmer with hints of violet and silver as waves lap at the shore in gentle rhythms. 100 feet offshore, the wall of wind and rain, the Eye of Abendego, hundreds of feet tall, stands behind them like a living thing. A churning curtain of gray that stretches endlessly in all directions, sealing the sea behind them. On the beach, sunlight pours down, warming your soaked skin and clothes. The air is still, and the sky above a perfect canvas of blue, unmarred by clouds. Above you, a small mountain looms, and from its peak, a colossal stone hand reaches towards the sky, half shrouded in mist and mystery.
Randy shall surf into the shore, looking super cool, dangerous.
That was mighty impressive, Randy, yes. I was just gonna... I don't like being this wet. And then she's gonna take off her top and just wring everything out.
Oh my.
What?
Nothing.
You let me go under the water. What happened?
Huh? Oh yeah, a Gilgamesh. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, I guess you kind of owe me one, don't you?
Yes. And you can see Gilgamesh smile, baring his teeth. Looks really awkward. Oh, you. Sure.
It's good to see you boys getting along.
Why aren't you wearing clothes?
I don't want to be clingy on my shirt. No, nobody else does this. Okay, so Arken will start putting her clothes back on.
You guys see Salazar just like floating up in the shore and the waves lapping his body up onto the beach.
Have you ever been in waves before?
Not really. Where are you? You can see that Salazar is kind of like blinking his eyes kind of hard because this bright sunlight is really challenging.
Oh, drow problems.
But you can see that he does not erupt into flame in the sunlight, despite what most people think.
Not a vampire.
Definitely not. But he kind of just shakes it off after 6 seconds. It just seems a little off. I would very much like for us to go into the shade, if possible.
Who is where are we going to? Who's here?
I don't know how long people have been here or not. We don't know much. But the scriptures said that there was some power to be had on this island. So I say we look around and see if there's anybody left alive here, see if anybody's coming. And Arken will sort of just now turn around and start scanning and detecting magic.
Have you put your shirt back on at this point?
I already had, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
You're still dazzled?
Oh, still dazzled, baby.
Randy's gonna kind of shoulder Salazar a bit and say, "We should get you some cool shades or something, man."
That would be quite beneficial. It's Randy, right?
Yes, Randy.
It's hard for me to see.
Oh, do you prefer hands? Put the mask on.
What?
So as the heroes regain their bearings and scan the surroundings of this new mysterious island, the ground begins to tremble. A low guttural chittering rises from beneath them. And then without warning, two massive segmented creatures burst from the sand, their circular maws lined with rows of jagged teeth. These are silt terrors, a variant of the giant worm with tremor sense drawn to the vibrations of movement. Basically mini dune worms. Or if you've seen the movie back in the day, Tremors, that movie was so sick. But we're old, so you probably haven't.
Shai Hulud.
Shia LaBeouf from Dune.
Everyone, get ready.
We also will have pictures of the worms for the Instagram and the island that you guys can check out. Set up the battle board.
Do we have time for any preparations before the battle, such as drawing a weapon?
Everyone roll a perception check.
Beach perception.
Natural 20. That is a 29 for Salazar.
15 for Randy.
21 for Arken.
Gilgamesh bobs his head up and down, closes his eyes. Just really feeling the music with the 0.
You rolled a 0. Negative perception. That's awesome. So, anyone
ostrich.
with 15 or above can sense the tremors and draw their weapons, and Gilgamesh will have to draw his weapon on his first turn.
Be prepared.
Randy draws his dual wakizashi.
Just for the listeners, Salazar is suffering from the dazzled condition, as long as he remains in the bright sunlight. Dazzled is a -1 to attack rolls and perception checks that rely on sight.
Perfect. So 2 silt terrors come out. Again, picture on the Instagram of our glorious battle board. That is very detailed. The blue is water, and the green on the other side is hard ground. Everything in between is black sand.
Support our Patreon.
Support the Patreon, we'll have a better battle board. And we will have to roll initiative.
Randy's got
Again.
some goodness going. Yeah.
Same as last
Yeah.
time.
That is a 28 for Salazar.
Oh my god.
Arken prefers to finish last at 7.
14.
Haynes, with his lightning quick ninja reflexes, gets an initiative roll of 31.
Jeez.
Shit.
Just the Ninja Brothers over here. Just
Yeah.
like,
We are both really fast.
So these 2 worms, which are large creatures, they have a bigger base, and burst out of the sands as you guys arrive on the beach. And because you guys knew they were coming and prepared, they will not get a surprise round. And Randy, with your 31 initiative, you will go first as this giant sandworm bursts out of the ground and opens its maw at you.
Well, Randy shall don his mask.
And become Haynes. Haynes shall pivot to the side of the sandworm while brandishing his very dangerous dual wakizashis.
The David Suzuki's.
The David Suzuki's, yes.
Yeah. And that's a 5-foot step.
Indeed it is. And as he is Haynes, he is obscured in darkness. As he slashes at the sandworm with consecutive sneak attacks.
Oh, question, maybe a rules question. Do I need to announce that I can spend a key point on an extra attack before I do my attack, or am I allowed to see the results of your first 2 attacks before making that
It would say
decision?
on your thing, probably you can do it after.
After?
I think what it does is it gives you an extra attack.
What is it?
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah, you can do it after.
So, yeah.
Okay.
if it
much like-
lowered your
Because if I
attack,
have to declare it ahead of time, then it's
Yeah.
a risk.
For instance, like you're dual wielding, you don't have to announce both of them are going at it.
Yeah.
You just swing once,
I think.
and then, oh, it's dead. I swing at the other guy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And with Haynes' first sneak attack, he shall roll. That is a 16.
A 16 is a miss.
Flat-footed.
Yep. Even flat-footed, a 16 is a miss on these creatures. The sand distracted you as it burst out.
Sand got in my eye. No concern, fellows.
you're wearing a mask.
The mask merely covers my mouth. I'm a super dangerous looking ninja. With Haynes' offhand weapon, he shall slash at the sandworm. That is an 18.
An 18 is a miss.
Uh-oh.
Haynes shall expend the use of a key point to make another sneak attack with his main hand weapon.
Okay, you charge up to gain some speed to add another attack to your repertoire of David Suzuki's. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll above a 10, just so you know.
This blasted sand and
Oh no, the mask fell off. Well, that is a 14.
14 is a miss. So this worm bursts through the sand in a cloud of dust, and you swing 3 times really fast and just happen to miss every single one. It is now Salazar's turn.
Salazar hopes not to emulate his ninja brother, but he also wields his 2 weapons, his gloom blade in his main hand, a weapon made of pure shadow, and his magic kukri in the other.
Yeah, alongside Arken against the second sandworm, not the same one that Randy was attacking.
So Salazar will take his movement.
5-foot step?
No.
Oh, full movement. Yep.
Seeing how difficult it was for Randy to strike a blow, he will hope to guarantee this hit.
So Arken and Salazar are now flanking the second sandworm.
And he will take one attack with his Gloom Blade. Ooh, that is good. Oh, one of a critical. That is a lot. That is a 31 to hit.
A 31 hits. A fine strike, sir.
Okay, so we know it's 31, maybe less.
Ooh, that is some shitty ass damage. That is 20 points of slashing damage.
So your Gloom Blade strikes true and slashes a big chunk out of this giant sandworm for 20 points of damage as it screams into the air. It was expecting an easier meal, I'm sure. It is now the worm's turn. So these worms are no joke. They have a melee bite attack with a chance to grab and swallow whole. The players don't know that, but I'm telling you, the fans, because we got a thing going on right now. So the first worm, the one that attacks Salazar, will attack back in a rage. 24.
That is exactly a hit.
Oh. So I am gonna give you some damage. 15 damage from this bite attack as this maw comes in and takes a chunk out of your shoulder, but it tries for more. So my CMB against Salazar's CMT to see if this worm grapples on and starts to swallow him whole. Aye, Chihuahua. That is a 2 on the die.
Like 27.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Still gonna be like 18.
It is 18.
Salazar deftly moves to the side.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, you definitely dodge. Oh, so you take a bite out of the shoulder and rip your shoulder away, and you manage to dodge the full mouthful.
You'll have to do better than that, you penis shit monster.
Maybe he's just trying to give you a blowjob.
And even though Randy
Too
missed,
many teeth.
even though Randy missed 3 times, the other worm will attack him, the aggressor. That is a 29.
Randy is hit.
Yeah, as this maw comes down on your ninja face. Oh, 2 1s on the D6s. So that is 11 points of damage. And he will attempt to swallow you whole with a grab. Oh, a 2 and a 3. So 19 against your CMD.
Randy nods his
Hands mask as he's being bitten by the worm, and he shall dodge to the side away from its maw.
Okay, good first round for you guys. That is very dangerous. They have acid stomachs, and you can only dig your way out with a one-handed weapon. So it's worse for some people than others. That is the worm's turn. It is now Gilgamesh's turn.
Yes, I think I've seen these before. What were these? Use knowledge religion and knowledge planes to remember what these things are.
You have no idea what they are. Good attempt, though. As neither of those things would have helped you either way. But I like the way that Gilgamesh thinks. 5-foot adjust to flank with Randy.
So, Gilgamesh doesn't have his weapon, so he draws his scythe as part of his 5-foot step, just moving a little bit. And Gilgamesh flexes his hand, looking at it for a moment, and suddenly just shadows start flying out from his fist and encircling everybody in his body in a 30-foot radius. And as they dance about, darkness is manifested all around in flickering shadows. So, all of us, all these good friends, good, hey, fellow friends, this will help good peoples. So everybody gets a +1 morale bonus to AC and attack damage and saving throws against fear. Also, if you want to smash unattended objects, you can do a lot better with it.
Nice. And even though the rule specifically states it does not affect light, I think rule of cool should be in effect here, and Salazar's dazzled condition can be eliminated because he's in a cloud of darkness. That just makes sense to me.
Oh, we are not fighting giant penises. Oh.
I don't remember what these are, these creatures.
Come on, Randy. Even a blind vampire can hit these goddamn giant worms.
I'm not a vampire. I can hear you over there.
Is that your full turn?
Yeah, Randy, that's real normal for normal people to be able to do, to hear me all the way from over there with all the roaring water around us and crazy giant death worms. Sure, Salazar.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. It is now Arken's turn.
Perfectly human.
Arken will see this worm before her and go, I don't want you biting us. Go bite the other worm. And she's going to cast Murderous Command. Try to cast defensively first. So it'd be a 16 DC. Not enough because it hit the paper. So I lose that spell.
Oh no.
You lose it for...
I lose a casting of a spell per day. I have many spells.
Yeah, you try to cast defensively, but the wriggling worm bumps into you and ruins your cast.
Oh, Pleiadius, guide me. Come on.
Pleiadius, your god. And Crom just flies overhead. He is not trained for combat yet. He's still a young drake. It is top of round 2, Randy's turn.
Come on, Randy. Put the mask on. You can do this.
Haynes shall once again attempt to double sneak attack the giant death worm.
You're now flanking and have the bonuses of Gilgamesh's aura.
Apologies, I forgot to mention, yes. Haynes is flanking the worm with Gilgamesh. Haynes has rolled a 21.
A 21 hits.
So
You tell me.
1d6 is my regular weapon, but my sneak attack damage is 3d6. I don't know if that's an additional.
4d6.
So 4d6.
Plus your normal bonuses, plus another one from his aura.
Haynes has struck the worm for 14 damage.
You pierce the hard, thickened skin of this worm for 14 damage on your first attack. What's your second one?
Haynes is attacking with his offhand. I believe this is a roll of 15.
With a 15, your second attack bounces off said thick skin and does not penetrate the worm's armor.
Haynes shall take the opportunity to expend another key point for an additional sneak attack with his main hand.
How many key points do you have?
7 total.
Oh,
now
God.
6 remaining.
Oh god, all right.
Soon to be 5.
So you light up with energy for another attack and quickly get it in for... Time to change that die, bud.
I keep changing them.
I believe that is 17.
17 misses. Another one bounces off its skin and deflects away. It's tough skin to penetrate on these worms. They got a thick, strong hide. A lot of natural defenses. It is now the worm's turn.
It's Salazar's turn.
It is now Salazar's turn.
Nice try.
I got excited.
Yeah. Salazar will take this opportunity to stab the shit out of this worm. He's going to take a full attack action, targeting the worm he is flanking with Arken.
Do what you came to do, Salazar.
With his gloom blade to start. God damn it. That is a 17.
17 is a miss. You're running into the same problem as Randy as it's bouncing off his thick skin.
That is not the right spot. Here, try this one. Ooh, that is a critical hit.
Oh, critical threat.
Let's see, confirm the critical. 28 to confirm.
28 is a confirmed crit. Let's go.
22 points of slashing damage.
So your first attack bouncing off a hard piece of skin, you're like, no, that's not the spot. And then you find a nice little wounded area from before and pierce it perfectly for 22 points of damage as worm blood covers your face.
Just goes like this. Taste a little acidic. Too much lemon.
A fine hit, sir. And now it is the worm's turn. The first worm that Haynes and Gilgamesh are fighting will again attack Haynes, the one doing damage to him. 23.
You got +1 AC from my aura.
So if it's a tie,
Haynes has just barely been struck, and the mask
has fallen off, and now I'm Randy.
So you try to dodge out of the way, and the worm just gets you. And we will roll for the bite attack. You will take 15 damage from this bite as another bite goes into the same shoulder, sinking its teeth into you, and we will see if it can hold on and grapple you with its mouth.
How are you doing, Randy?
This really hurts, guys.
Roll 2, 3, and 4 on the grapples. So this is 19 for the CMB attempting to grapple you.
It's fine, guys. They're not even that tough.
Sorry, you said 19?
I said 19.
and the mask is on, and Haynes has returned to the darkness and dodged the death worm.
So it bites into your shoulder and you shrug it off, not letting it hold on to you. And the second worm, again, will attack Salazar, the one that's done a lot of damage to it and found its weak point. Ooh. I am rolling like trash. Shocker. 21.
Again, Salazar deftly dodges the giant worm.
Oof. Salazar is a beast. That is the worm's turn. It is now Gilgamesh's turn.
Gilgamesh pulls his scythe back to take it out in the lower extremities. It's all one extremity.
He's calculating.
The full attack action. 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Well,
he's grabbing a lot of dice, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of dice are being grabbed.
I just like the sound they make.
Lame.
A lot of 1s and 3s and 2s.
30 points of damage.
Oh my god.
And you should make a fortitude save.
A fortitude save. All right, here we go. These guys should have good. Oh yeah, they got good fortitude. Let's go. 22.
Okay, that part fine, but you take the full damage.
Like a dragonkin grim reaper, Gilgamesh takes his onyx-colored scythe and slams it into the side of this worm, burying the blade for 30 points of damage.
As it goes right through, he comes back around for a second swing and he wants to stab it with this one.
Oh my god.
18.
You got a little overzealous on the second attack, and its tough hide deflects the damage.
When he first hit it with the scythe, you could see dark energies coming straight out of his body, going through the scythe and into the creature.
Oh my god. Terrifying. It is now Arken's turn.
So on Arken's turn, she doesn't have a life link active with anybody, so you're not healing automatically. But how does everybody look? I know Randy's been hurt a bit.
So as Salazar, he's taking a chunk out of his shoulder.
Gilgamesh looks like he's head bumming, just grooving to the music.
Some would say about 1/4 of his shoulder. Or something like that. Or 1/3, I don't know. Something, I don't do math.
Randy's feeling about half the man he used to be.
Would you say he's at half-mast?
Let's get you all the way there, Randy.
Milady.
Arken is going to channel. And because I have selective channeling, I do not include the worms in this positive energy healing.
Nice.
Bo.
How I rolled so shitty. Only 30.
Especially because Randy feels like a teenager a little
Some
bit.
D6s.
So
Yeah, I would say he's like early 20s. Like he's not as mature as he should be.
Need to grapple one of you bitches.
I don't think so.
Everybody gets 13 hit points.
So Arken. Oh, is that did you cast defensively or?
I don't have to channel. It's not a spell.
Oh, I don't get no attack of opportunity.
Not this time.
So everyone but the worms heals 13 as Arken throws her healing light up into the air and heals her allies.
Bask in the warmth of Palladius. Bitches.
Much better.
So keep fighting.
And Arken definitely feels a little anxiety coming from Crom as it feels helpless, wanting to help but doesn't know how.
I'll say, don't worry. I'll try to point out spots on the worm that it should go for. Can I actually roll knowledge nature on these things?
Yeah.
Realized I could have done that the first time. Natural 1. Arken is too busy talking to Crom, so natural 1.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys still basically know nothing about these worms. It is now top of round 3, Randy's turn.
Come on, Randy.
Randy shall don the mask once again.
And Haynes is here. He shall attempt another sneak attack. Haynes has rolled a 26.
A 26 hits. Your first David Suzuki strikes true. How much damage? Oh, that's a lot of big numbers.
Haynes has rolled a 19 with his first attack.
You land a mighty blow on the worm, which is terrifying from one-handed weapon, because that means you have 1, maybe 2 more attacks. So, your second swing.
Haynes shall take a second swing with his offhand. For another 26.
You found the weaknesses in this hide armor, and you are penetrating like crazy. With the David Suzukis.
My specialty. For another 19 damage. Is the worm still standing?
Yes, hacking into this worm, taking chunk after chunk out of it. You know it's greatly weakened, but it's still standing.
Haynes is feeling rather confident at the moment. He feels he's zeroed right in on the weakness, and he shall expend another key point for another bonus attack. For 16.
A 16 is a miss. You got a bit too excited there. And it is now Salazar's turn.
Salazar will do absolutely nothing different, except hopefully hit with his main hand strike. He will strike him with his gloom blade. That is a 21 to hit.
21 hits. You keep hammering the same spot from your crit over and over again in this weakened area.
15 points of damage on the first attack.
Okay, 15.
Now with his offhand, he will follow up, hopefully in the same spot. No, not in the same spot. He hits the hide with a 16. Fuck.
A 16 misses as a squirt of blood hit your eyes and slightly distracted you from your second attack.
Where is the kidneys on these things?
I know we're all shaken from the boat, but come on, guys.
It is now the worm's turn. And the worm will again attack Haynes, the one that's been damaging him over and over again. Even though Gilgamesh kind of did a shit ton of damage with one attack. 21.
Haynes laughs as he backflips out of the way.
Yeah, you've got the measure of these creatures now, and you've learned its cadences, and you've danced out of the way, or backflipped. I'll give you the backflip. Attack of opportunity for the backflip. And the other worm will attack Salazar again. Not good. For 22.
That is also a miss.
Oh, tough round for the worms. It is now Gilgamesh's turn.
Attacking the most dodgy members of the team.
Also the most stabby.
Mm-hmm. Gilgamesh takes a little step to the side and continues swinging his attacks. 29 to hit.
29 hits.
39 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
I think an easy. Cutting right in half with the scythe. Just want to slice it.
And you successfully slice this ginormous worm in half. And it just wriggles as two halves on the ground. Just the red blood from the worm just changing the black sand all around it.
Okay, looking closely, I prefer uncircumcised then.
Like when a pizza roll explodes in the oven.
It is now Arken's turn.
Arken sees everybody here, and the worm goes down on the other side and goes, let's see if we can end this one. And Arken will swing down with her flaming heavy mace. Arken rolls a 17 with her flaming heavy mace to try to hit the remaining worm.
Your flaming heavy mace bounces right off the tough hide of the worm.
Don't worry, fair maiden. Salazar will take care of this worm.
Palladius foreskin.
Top of round 4, it is Randy's turn as Crom continues to circle above. Where the worm died, that'll be difficult terrain.
Randy shall don the mask
of Haynes and attempt to move along the beach and then acrobatics his way next to the other worm to get in a flanking position with Salazar. Haynes has rolled an acrobatics of 33. flipping his way along the beach.
CMD is 27. You successfully acrobatics around and avoid the attack of opportunity as it tries to bite you, but you do some weird ninja move that gets you out of the way.
Holy shit. Here's right beside Arken.
I am no weird ninja. I'm a very cool and dangerous ninja.
So you can have one attack?
Indeed, I shall sneak attack with my wakizashi
All right.
for a natural 1.
Natural 1.
The mask, the sand. No.
You just walk by Arken's ass and just...
Milady.
It is now Salazar's turn.
It's not a full moon.
His kill will be mine for the Void Weaver. And he's going to attack with his Gloom Blade. Oh, that is a 20 to hit.
20 hits exactly. As you know that sweet spot on that worm by now.
22 points of slashing damage.
22 points. And this worm is looking like it doesn't want to get hit in that spot anymore.
Ooh, let's see if we can find the same sweet spot. Ooh, that is also a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Barely, barely. And that is 13 points of slashing damage.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, Salazar will groan in excellent pleasure. Excellent? Exalted. Salazar will groan in exalted pleasure as he drives both blades into the real meat of the worm. And then with a twirling dervish of blades, he will effectively circumcise the worm.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. So you cut off just the tip, and it was enough.
Much better this way.
And the worm falls to the ground, staining the black sand.
Good job, everyone.
This was just like one of my favorite manga, Sandland by Akira Toriyama.
What?
Also what?
Both worms have been defeated, staining the black sand with their blood. I'm going to need everyone to roll a perception check.
10.
4.
26.
19.
So with a 26, Salazar, you feel the ground starting to rumble again. You see also in the distance, you see a medium stocky figure. It looks like a dwarf, but you have never even seen a dwarf before, but you've heard of dwarves and you've seen pictures of dwarves. And that dwarf says, "Get off the sand, come here to the hard ground." And you see the humanoid waving you further inland. What do you guys do?
The worms come. Follow this small human.
Randy shall don his mask.
And he shall use light steps to get to the hardened shore off the sand.
Arken will just casually walk, saunter.
Clang, clang, clang.
So you guys all make it to the hard, packed ground to where the dwarf was calling you over. Just as you do, 3 more sandworms burst out of the black sands, searching for prey. And if you want to find out what happens on this island, you're just going to have to listen next time.
Wow, that was a fantastic episode, guys. Thanks for letting me sit in with you. That was just a delight.
What are you still doing here?
You said I could hang out.
You ate all the sausages.
Yeah.
All of them. Couldn't even share one.
Even the frozen ones.
The bathroom reeks.
You're out of butter.
That might have been me.
Crunching can't be good for your teeth, Gary.
We're not spending another hour on Gary Busey. All right, our budget is done. And you're not sleeping here either.
I work for sandwiches, you know that.
You ate all the sandwiches.
Other services can be arranged. Where are you guys going?